Alright, we got the big Kilo Gene Cafe all set up, ready to rock. We just turned it on. We turned on the nice heaters and cool fans. Ooh, we got a little flash on there. We got it in preheat mode. It's going to preheat to about 230 Celsius, about 440. Awesome stuff. We got some nice Berman Coffee Sumatra, new lot, taking on. Perfect. Awesome. We got our nice little fill funnel. Comes down to load in. You never have to take the roast chamber out of this guy. First beep hit 150 Celsius, but we want it all the way up at 230. Put the camera down so we can load up the hopper here for a sec. Well, look what I can do one-handed. Very talented, very talented. Coffee goes up in the hopper. Ooh, yummy. That's Sumatra. Not the most even looking coffee, but very tasty, this batch. Here we go. Now this roaster so far has been very easy. The batch roast, coming in usually 15-minute roast, maybe 16, 17, a little darker. The first roast, even though you preheat it, does take a little bit longer. So basically we're going to preheat the sucker, we're going to dump the coffee in, and then when you're done you hit a button. Got a very nice cool tray. And that's also what allows you to do the cyclical roasting. Once you dump one, you can preheat it. Just takes a sec. Launch it back in. Second, third, fourth roast tend to go a little bit quicker than the first. Got an awesome chaff collector. Does a great job. Really high chaff coffees. You do tend to get a little bit of chaff in the roast chamber into the cooling tray, but not bad at all. Chaff collector holds enough chaff for about 3 to 4 batches. Really nice. Easy to suck out chaff. Clean up, not a pain at all. Doesn't struggle with amounts of chaff, you just suck it out right there. Very cool roaster. Definitely makes roasting a lot easier. Quite the showpiece. So we're up at 197 so far. Still climbing, getting closer. I'd say about 5-7 minute heat up there. Well, we're still waiting for that roaster to preheat. Look at all the coffee we got. Big new shipments. Good stuff. And then we got our household warehouse coffee trees living in the jungle. Boy, they're sure looking good this summer. I think we'll actually get some flowers off of them. Alright, encroaching 230. Just a couple more degrees to go. And then we'll dump in the beans. See this sucker in action. Alright, now that's the final preheat beep. What you do then is you hold this button until you get an insert, INS. See it? Now we come up here and we can flip this. Dumps all the beans into the nice roast chamber. Real nice and easy. Occasionally get a little stuck bean in there, knock it in. Perfect. Lift it up. Close the little safety grate, which is necessary to keep it turning. Come back over here, do a long hold, and away we go. Now we're roasting coffee like a champ. Now it's a little hard to see here, but bean visibility is actually pretty excellent on it. We found we have got it right back in our doctor. As long as you don't, if you got sun coming in from the back, you get a little glare, but otherwise real easy to glance over at it, see where you are in the roast. Little challenging to hear first crack. We'll bring it back into the video as soon as we get close. Oh, here, should explain time and temp, I guess. So, just 2 turn knobs, and you set it, and it'll just hit target. Time just keeps elapsing. Whenever it hits that target temp, or target time, it'll either drop with that. Alright, we're now about 4 minutes into the roast. Just starting to get a little color change on the coffee, but we're already back up into the 4s. Drop temp was at 230, we put in the beans, got down to about 175. Now within just a couple minutes, we're back up at high-end roasting time. So definitely a bit more powerful than the little Gene Cafe, even though it does a lot more coffee, which is nice. Second batch, if you do a second batch, will be decently quicker. You know, it's up to 230, 240 already in the 4-minute period. Very nice machine. Alright, continuing on the roast, 9 minutes, 230 Celsius. Getting some good color on those beans. Very nice looking. If you catch it right, you can get a little sense of bean temp from the rotating thermometer. A little challenging to see, but if you catch it right as it comes up, it seems to be decently accurate the bean temp. Should hit first crack within the next about 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, we're just starting to hit first crack here, a little quicker, 13.5 minutes. We are doing the semi-wash Sumatra, so it'll be a long rolling first crack to an extent. You know, the wet hulled beans are never too even, as you can tell by the color, but a good Sumatra, and a nice clean one. That was one of my favorite coffees. I'm looking forward to this. See a little glow of the heating elements. Catch it as it goes. Very nice. We're going to roll this guy right touching second crack. Nice little darker roast. Should come in. We should be able to hit second pretty close to that 17 mark. And starting to get to the upper end temperatures. We're Fahrenheit, my conversion is rusty, but we got to be 460 plus, 470, you know, air temp through the roaster, which is definitely on the higher side, but not enough to scorch. Very cool roaster. And as you can see, also I didn't go over it, but you got your dryer hose vents. Now that's the rolling, that's where the chaff comes off, that's going to be where most of the smoke comes off. Once you kick it into cool mode, the machine on the back, if you totally want it vented, you'll have to attach another piece of dryer hose. That's the cool tray exhaust. So between the two cool tray exhausts and the chaff collector exhaust, this thing is really easy to use inside. No problem, even if you don't have good ventilation. You just heard that beep that tries to warn you. 2 minutes, you know, before time expires, it beeps at you. I'm a fan of that and not a fan of that. It tends to cause inattentive roasting, which is never good, but it's very nice to have a warning as well. We'll come back to it right around second crack here. Alright, we're just bordering on second crack. Starting to get a little sheen on some of the beans. We're going to let it roll for a little bit. Well, I tell you, it's funny how the camera picks up more differential in the beans than I can see with my own eyes. But anyway, we're getting close and I'm excited. Added a couple minutes. Sumatra taking a little bit longer than average. You know, we're going to be pushing maybe 20, 21 minutes right up to the second crack there. I think we got a couple beans definitely going into second crack, but we want it all a little darker. Since I extended the time, it's letting me know that there's 2 minutes till time expires again. Nice roll and roast. I do hear some second cracks. We'll see if we can get them on the camera here. They're a little faint with the sound of the beans hitting the glass. It is a little tricky to tell the cracks here. So there we go. Now we're well into second crack. So cool mode. How to hit it? We just hold this red button again. And it says injection. Now it's going to come over here and we're going to see it rotate and then dump. Look at that. The cool fan comes on. Very neat. I like to give the tray a little shake. Now the one thing this roaster's got is we get a couple beans sitting at the end of that roast chamber. Comes with this nice little tool. You do have to get in there a little bit and knock the beans. Real easy. But especially as the roast chamber gets a little dirtier and such, you know, you'll see a couple more beans sticking down there. Get them out. There we go. Last bean out of there. Give the tray a little shake. Even them out. Oh, I see one more. And then, you know, if you were going to go for a second batch, Then you close your gate and get it to preheat again. See, now it's spun around and closed it with one tap. Another single tap, we're back to the preheat. In which case then you could open back up the grate. As soon as it gets back up to target temp, we can dump back in your beans. Now the thing you'll notice that the temp will raise a lot quicker the second time around. It usually cuts out about 4 or 5 minutes of roast time. You can just watch it climb there to 230. It'll be there in no time. Cool mode's going to shut off by itself. When it's done, you can pull the tray, empty the beans. Obviously, if you're going to batch roast, you got to get it out of the tray before the next one goes into the cool cycle. So you got a couple minutes. You know, you got 15-minute roast, 3-4 minute cool down. So you got about a 10-minute window to get the beans out of the tray before the next one will have to dump. So really, the first batch on this guy is going to be the outlier. See, boom, preheated, ready to go for the next batch. Very cool roaster. If you don't fire it up, after it's preheated, it just shoots down, but you can see it's still climbing just off the ambient temperature, even though it's shut off the elements at 230. Very cool. That is the Big Gene in a nutshell. Thanks for watching.